All right, it is Diwali Eve and the Indian cricket team have given its numerous fans a Diwali gift. That is registering their first victory in the T20 World Cup. Yes, the two losses really hurt them versus New Zealand and Pakistan. But remember, from here on, India had to win all their encounters if they wanted to make the semi-finals. Of course, they'll also have to wait for a few other results to go their way. But the first step has been taken, that of beating a very tricky, and I must quote Sunil Gavaskar here, he mentioned extremely dangerous Afghanistan team. We've seen Afghanistan in the tournament so far. They've come out with some fine performances. Their T20 form is very good. So they could have been that banana peel team for the Indian team. But now they've put one past this Afghanistan team, the men in blue, registering a massive 66-run victory. Talk about flexing the muscles. And that's what you wanted the Indian team to do after that demoralizing loss to New Zealand with the batting completely folded. But this time around, India batted first, were put into bat first. Once again, Virat Kohli lost the toss. But this time, India got a massive 210 for 2 in their 20 overs. And just a reminder that also happens to be the highest total that we've seen in the T20 World Cup so far, eclipsing the 190 that Afghanistan had got earlier. So the highest total of this tournament, and then that is what helped India win this game by a massive margin of 66 runs. Also, you got to remember that the last time India got such a big total in a T20 World Cup, you will have to go way back to 2007, that World Cup, the T20 World Cup that India won. In that particular tournament, India had got 218 versus England in Durban in 2007. Sunny Gavaskar now joins us on this program. Sunny bhai, as I've been saying, this has been a sort of a Diwali gift that the Indian team has given its millions and billions of fans. You spoke about how you wanted this team to express themselves, go out, play attacking cricket, and boy, did they do that.
Well, I didn't use the word express themselves. That's a normal word that that is used by the current players. I said shed inhibitions, go for broke. These are the words that I used. And they certainly shed their inhibitions. Look at the way they batted in those first 6 overs in the power play. They were not just completely unafraid of going for the big shots. Some of the shots that Rohit Sharma played, we all know he's capable of doing that. Rahul was not too far behind. And they had a rollicking partnership. More than 100-run partnership, gave the team the platform that they needed to get past 200. This is a massive win. And this is, I believe, of India putting its foot in the door, which they will be hoping to push wide open and enter the semi-finals.
Okay, I'm just looking at a few numbers here, Sunny bhai. As you said, they shed all their inhibitions. 27 boundaries in all for India. This is more than the combined boundaries that they got in the previous match. That was 23. I'm talking about both the New Zealand as well as the Pakistan game. What do you put that down to? Was that the intent that you saw, or was it the conditions, the bowling attack? What would you put it down to?
Purely intent. It has to be, because that is exactly what they needed to do. They knew that just the win was not going to be enough. They have to win big. They have to win the next 2 games also big. We've just seen that despite us, the Indian team getting into the plus positive as far as net run rate is concerned, they are a little bit behind. So they need to improve that net run rate. And the only way they can do it is playing the way that they did, batting the way that they did today, with complete freedom and without even thinking about what will happen in case I get out. You've got to go for it, because this is a 20 overs game. You just got to throw your bat at everything. That's what they did.
Okay. One is that India, getting that big boost as far as their run rate is concerned. Lest we forget, Sunny bhai, it could be Afghanistan if they go on to beat New Zealand, that might be competing with India. So a dent to their run rate also is going to be a very positive for the Indian team.
Definitely. But they also knew that. They also were aware of that. And that's the reason they went hell-bent for leather as well. Because if India had managed to dismiss them for about 120, that would have affected their run rate. Now they've gone another 25 runs more. So clearly, I think Afghanistan also knew what they had to do. And they knew that 210 was out of the question, but they wanted to get as close to that score as possible to improve their net run rate.
Okay, we're talking about the boundaries, how India got more boundaries in this particular game compared to the two previous games. I'm going to extend that logic to the wickets as well, Sunny Bhai. 2 wickets in the previous 2 games, 7 wickets in this encounter. Now, there was a school of thought that let's not blame the Indian bowlers much because the batsmen didn't really give them a total to fight with. This time they did have that total. So the wickets that came India's way, was it also some fine bowling or also the pressure that the Indian batsmen applied on the Afghanistan batsmen after they notched up 210?
Clearly, the score is a daunting score, and then the opposition knows that they're going to try something different. So some of the shots that we saw, where the batsman got out looking to play the switch hit or the reverse sweep, getting bowled, was only because of the pressure to keep scoring runs and not to have any dot balls. Having said that, the way our bowlers bowled as well, that was also very good to see. The way the lines that they were bowling, the lengths that they were bowling, the varying of the line, varying of the flight, varying of the speed, all top class efforts. And that's what happens when the bowlers have the confidence of runs in the bank for them.
Okay, Sunny, you spoke about the intent and you saw that intent in the Indian batsmen. The other thing, you finally saw Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul. I say finally, even though it was that one game that they didn't open, but you'd have to say better sense prevailed then.
Well, yes, I think they've been your opening pair for such a long time. And so clearly, I think they had to be brought together again, which was what was done. Look, as long as you understand that the mistake was done and you correct it, there's nothing wrong with it. We all make mistakes in lives. All we have to do is to try and correct it. And that's what the Indian management did. So kudos to them for having done that.
Okay, we spoke so much about that threat of Rashid Khan, and that wasn't, in vain, because Rashid, how dangerous he is. We've seen him in international cricket, we've seen him in the IPL, various other T20 league where he goes and plays. Today, I look at his figures: 4 overs, gives away 36 runs at an economy of 9, picks up no wicket. For me to look back at such figures, I had to go all the way back to 2016. So 5 years ago, he had such figures in international cricket. Tells you the kind of consistency he's shown as far as his bowling is concerned, but also tells you the kind of, stamp that the Indian batsmen really wanted to leave in this game after all the criticism that came their way after those 2 losses.
Absolutely. I mean, look at those 2 back-to-back sixes by Rohit Sharma. What that told you was that, look, we are going to get after you. You're a great bowler. You've got a fabulous record, and that record is before this game. This time around, we are going to try and make sure that your economy rate is more than 8 runs and over. And eventually, it was 9 runs and over. And those 2 back-to-back sixes, just generally the running between the wickets, looking to push him around, that was fantastic, because what it did was made him change his length just a little bit. And when he changed his length, the batsmen were able to go on the back foot and get some extra runs there as well.
Okay, plenty more to come with Sunny Gavaskar, but for the moment, let's show you those highlights from that game. We've been talking up the Indian batting because that's the kind of display that they put forward today. 69 for KL Rahul, 74 for Rohit Sharma, and then you had this onslaught towards the end by Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya. Here are the batting highlights.
Rohit Sharma was due for runs, and the Indian opener finally decided to light up the Abu Dhabi skyline. KL Rahul was no spectator at the other end, as both the openers began to show their true colours right at the start. The last 2 games saw India faltering in the power play itself, but against Afghanistan, India found themselves at 53 for no loss at the end of 6 overs. But for Afghanistan, worst was yet to come. It took Rohit just 37 deliveries to raise his 50, his 22nd in T20 internationals, lifting him to the 3rd spot alongside Mahela Jayawardene on the list of most half-centuries in T20 World Cup. Rohit just went berserk after his 50, and there was no respite for Afghanistan as he showed no mercy to even Rashid Khan. Rahul was equally good at the other end, and he also reached his half-century soon after. This happens to be the 4th 100-run stand between the 2 openers. Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan are at the top with 5 century stands between them. Rohit was finally out for 74 of just 47 deliveries that ended the 140-run partnership, the highest for India for the first wicket in T20 international. Rahul was dismissed for 69, but India did not take the pedal off the accelerator as Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant also joined the party. India eventually finished with a massive 210 for 2. That was always going to be an uphill task for Afghanistan, and Indian bowlers kept a tight leash on them, picking up wickets one after the other. Afghanistan were there with the bat but not in the game, and India came up with a clinical show to push their run rate up, which may be crucial if they are to make it to the semis somehow. Sports Bureau, India Today.
All right, Sunny Gavaskar still with us. One other puzzle that India really wanted to sort out was who's going to be their power hitters, because Hardik wasn't in great form. Rishabh wasn't doing that role either. Today, they didn't bat at number 5 or 6, but I'm guessing going forward, when everything falls into place, they will be called upon at number 5 and number 6 to do that job. We got that indication that they've also begun to struck the ball. So when they come towards the end of the inning, you can get that impetus that you need.
Well, it was a good outing for both of them. Both of them struck the ball very well, and that's what you need, because when you hit the ball cleanly as they did, then your confidence grows for the next game, and that's exactly what's happened with this effort of theirs as well. Again, the running between the wickets between these two was terrific. They were converting, impossible twos. One, there was just a 1 in it, but the way Hardik Pandya was running, he was making it into a 2 and putting pressure on the Afghan fielders. So yes, it was good to see both these youngsters coming and striking the ball so cleanly.
Final question on the game, Sunny Bhai. Just looking at it from Afghanistan's perspective, of course, they were missing Mujib in this encounter. What did you make of the fact that only bowled 1 over? And this, of course, comes down on him because he's the captain. Nabi bowls only 1 over. I know there were 2 right-handers batting for most part of the innings, but you saw him bowl that 1 over, which was pretty good, and never got him on again.